Just a quick heads up, I forgot to record the intro for this video. This is a continuation of the last video where I cut an entire chicken down, and this is meal number 1. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. For this, I'm going to use entire chicken breast that I recently cut in half and boiling it in some water. I'm adding aromatics such as salt, pepper, garlic, and some onion. Just for fun, I'm also adding some chicken flavored bouillon. It'll make more sense later. Cooking the chicken should take about 15 minutes, so we have plenty of time to do everything else. For enchiladas verdes, you're going to want to make some salsa beforehand. This salsa can be made as spicy or as mild as you want to. As for myself, I like some spice to it. This salsa also consists of a handful of vegetables like onion, tomatillo, peppers, garlic, salt, and pepper, and optionally some chicken flavored bouillon for taste. First step is to remove all the outfits from the tomatillos and take off the peppers' fancy little hats. These aren't tasty. To prepare the vegetables, I'm going to place down a hot pan set to medium-high and scorch them until they're burnt. Move them around often to get the entire body burnt. I can also... As I was saying, you could also boil the vegetables to be mushy, but I feel like scorching them gives them more flavor. A little smoky taste to it. Some pieces may be fully cooked before the others, and that's fine. Just remove them and carefully place them down in a cutting board and go back to moving around the other ones to evenly cook. While this is happening, if you think your chicken is ready, you can grab a fork and test it, see how tender it feels. Once the last tomatillo is done, we can begin blending. I have this small blender I got for $20, and I'll need to do this twice because it's very small. I do kind of regret having this one. Kinda wish I waited and saved another $15 to get a big blender. But you know, live and learn. Add in your vegetables, and to prevent it from not blending well, add some of that chicken water we made earlier. Blend. I'll be honest, I forgot to add cilantro right there. That's okay, since I have to do this twice anyways, I'll just add it this time. Now time to taste it. It's so good. My dad makes it better, but this is still pretty damn good. I like to add some cilantro afterwards to make myself feel a little bit fancy. You don't need to do this, but nice little burst of dopamine. Now, this salsa isn't just for enchiladas. This is actually the salsa we make for most of our foods. Tacos, flautas, tortas, chilaquiles, you name it. Anyways, back to the enchiladas. Now that the salsa is done, it's time to get our chicken ready. Take it out of the water and carefully shred it. If it's too hot for you, use 2 forks to do so. If you're like me and have been helping your mom with this for years, there is no pain. Now that that's done, put it aside for a clean workspace. For this next part, you're going to need 2 pans. There is no way around it. Set both to around medium heat. Place some oil on one of them, a decent amount this time since we're going to be somewhat dunking the tortilla in it. The other one we're going to use to place our newly made salsa. And cleaning that mess up because we're not savages. Now comes the fast part. This is a true make or break moment. Get your tortillas and place it down on the oil for no more than 5 seconds on each side. If it's in for too long, it will get too crunchy and make tostadas. Quickly lift it with a spatula and place it onto the salsa. This too needs to be done in very quick time. If you leave it too long, it will become too soggy. Once the tortillas are on your plate, just get your chicken and drop some in the center. Not too much, and carefully roll. For my sanity after this, I'm going to leave my camera here and make the next 2 very quickly. Now, a good chunk of the salsa was cooked off when I was doing this, so I like to add some on top of it for flavor. But I like to add some crema, or Mexican sour cream. Trust me, it's better than regular sour cream. Less acidic and less thick, and it won't curdle when it's too hot with food. You could also add shredded lettuce and cheese on top of this, but I don't have either. Let me tell you guys though, I'll go ahead and have that. This is very delicious. My mom's enchiladas will always be number one, but I like to believe she approves of this one too. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped you out even just a little bit when it comes to making enchiladas verdes. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Oh yeah, this is real good. Hello, I'm your college cook, and today we're going to be making some authentic Mexican rice. Arroz rojo is a staple side dish for any Mexican meal, so you better know how to do it right. If it's perfect, you can just make the rice and be done without having to make anything else to go alongside it. My mom taught me and my sisters how to make it, so I have to be careful making this on camera because she watches these videos. Y me va de la chancla si lo hago feo. This is honestly a pretty straightforward recipe. Only has about 5 ingredients if you include water. If not, it's just 4. If you mess up your first time, it's okay. I did too, trust me. Jesus. Oh god. First ingredient on the chopping board is going to be an onion. Now all I gotta do is give this fellow a small little haircut and that's it. For every cup of rice, you'll need about 1/5 of the onion. So this is a good amount. That's about it for the cutting board. The rest is even more straightforward. Get a cup of long grain white rice and rinse it to remove any excess starch. Remember that, long grain rice. This is the rice type that Mexican rice is made out of. Short grain or brown rice work too, but not as well. Medium grain works fine enough. Just use less water if you use medium grain. If you don't have a measuring cup in your supplies list, a regular standard mug will work just as fine. Once rinsed and cleaned, leave your rice to the side until we need it later on. I didn't know I could do this until someone on TikTok showed themselves doing it. Look at it. That's great. Anyways, now we got our pork pot and plop it down the stove, setting the heat to about medium and letting it heat up. Dropping a little bit of vegetable oil, and once hot, dropping in the onion slices. I want to have the onions have a little darker color to them. That's about good. Once the color changes, get your rice and plop it in and begin to stir. This is different from other rice recipes since usually for rice you have to leave it in the water to cook, but for Mexican rice, we like to roast it a little bit beforehand. Just enough to change the color, just a little bit. After a few minutes of stirring, we're going to quickly get a can of tomato sauce and drop it onto the rice. Start to mix until it's thoroughly combined and we're almost done. All we need to do now is get 2 cups of water and pour it in carefully. We'll also be adding some chicken flavored bouillon. The amount of water is based on the amount of rice that you'll use. A good rule of thumb is a 2-to-1 ratio. 2 cups of water for every cup of rice. I put a little bit less water than that though, since the tomato sauce adds liquid to it, and if I put too much, it'll come out as mushy rice. Mix it a little bit until it looks like the caldito from a video we made way back when. That's it. All that's left now is to cover the pot with a lid and leave it alone for about half an hour. Once ready, I like to fluff up the rice by moving it around. You don't have to do this, it just looks nice. All I gotta do now is serve this up on a plate and try it out. Oh yeah, this is real good. My mama makes it better, but this is still pretty good. This was pretty straightforward, honestly. I hope this video helped you out, even if just a little bit when it comes to making some authentic Mexican rice. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Hello, I'm your college cook, and today we're going to be making some ceviche. Ceviche is an all-time classic Mexican side dish. Not even side dish, it's a classic just anything to eat. And no party would be complete without it. It's easy to make and it's super tasty. It's the best of both worlds. I love it, my family loves it, my friends love it. And the best part, there's no cooking in it whatsoever. Making ceviche is super easy, aside from one thing, which I'll get to when I get to it. This is one of those meals that are pescatarian friendly too, since it consists of shrimp. It doesn't have to consist of only shrimp though, it could also consist of other aquatic animals like fish or imitation crab meat. For now though, I will be using shrimp. Now, this does involve a lot of cutting, so I'm going to grab a wet paper towel and place it down to avoid the board moving around often. You can choose whatever vegetables you want to have in your ceviche. I myself am using some tomatoes, onion, serrano peppers, and cucumber. Now, I didn't really often have cucumber in mine, but it's something I'm recently adding onto it more often. To be honest, all you really need is tomato and onion, and you'll be done. The pepper, the cucumber, anything else on top of that is just added bonuses. Tomatoes done. Onion is set. My older sister hates onions in her bites, but I'm now used to cutting them very small like this compared to everything else. I like to add pepper since it gives some kick to it. But if you are going to make it for a party or so, maybe you shouldn't. Since not everybody is accustomed to having some peppers, that's okay. Now it's time for the big boy. Cucumber. Okay, this may look silly, but trust me, this actually makes a cucumber a lot more delicious. It gets rid of the nasty taste, the little bitterness that some cucumbers tend to have. Okay, I'm not going to use this much cucumber. I definitely cut too much of it. So let me portion this down a bit. And just cut these up to be the same size as the others. That looks good, yeah. Alright, all we need now is a little garnish. Some cilantro. Out of everything, you don't need cilantro. This is just for some pretty points. And again, it does make me feel nice to use it, so... I got some. Once we're done with that, it is now time for the main event. The big bambino. The protein that we've all been waiting on. The shrimp. Now, they may look really small. That's because they are. I got this bag discounted for $5 for a whole pound of shrimp. And they are quite small, which makes sense why it's discounted. If you can help it, aim for bigger sized shrimps like the jumbo shrimps. But this works just as fine. This is A-okay. I just gotta be more careful with cutting. A good rule of thumb to cut into shrimps is cut them into thirds. Cut the big chunk of the front and cut the end of the tail. Yeah, like this. Maybe for the big shrimps, cut them to fourths, but this is fine. Alright, now that all the shrimp is done, all we gotta do now is dunk everything in together. I don't have a big bowl, so I'll just use Joy. Okay, now comes a part I've been dreading the whole time. Squeezing all the limes. I have a squeezer back at home, but right now it's just these two hands. A lot of excitement, if you can tell. Cut the lime, squeeze a lime, squeeze a lime, squeeze, and repeat and repeat and repeat until enough lime to cover the top. Now, you don't want the whole thing to be submerged in lime juice, just enough for it to be covered up, like this. That's why I'm pushing it down, to make sure it's just enough. We don't want ceviche soup. All we gotta do now is add some salt to the ceviche and we're basically done. All we gotta do now is wait 2 hours. Now, some people online are saying to wait only half an hour and then eat it, but nah. If my mom says 2 hours, I say 2 hours. So we gonna wait 2 hours. While waiting, I'm not gonna let the cucumber slices go to waste. So I'll make some pepino con tajín y limón. The title just kind of says what it is. It's just cucumber, tajin, and lime juice. But trust me, it's so good. Now we just snack while we're waiting. Okay, it's been 2 hours. It looks beautiful. it looks great. I like it. Let's just open up a new bag of chips and give it a try. It's so good. Ah, that's good. That's good right there. That's good. If you have an avocado, it works great alongside it, but you don't need one to enjoy the taste of ceviche. Honestly, this was one of the easiest things to cook. All I had to do was cut up vegetables and kill 2 hours. I hope this video helped you out, even if just a little bit, with making some ceviche. I'm gonna be eating this for the whole day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Oh, I missed this. Hello, I'm your college cook. Because of Lent, I've had to stop eating red meat on Fridays. But let's make some fish today. This is a whole fried fish, or una mojarra frita. This is a Mexican dish that's frying an entire fish, usually served with some vegetables on the sides. For my sides, I'm gonna use some white rice, which I made in my last video. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we begin, let's prep the seasonings. Garlic. I learned a new way to cutting garlic since I got made fun of last time for my previous videos on how I was cutting it. All I gotta do is cut the sides and smack! Oh my god, it's so much easier. Damn. We're also gonna use some cumin. Ground cumin is perfect, but I only have the whole cumin, so I'm gonna have to carefully cut this. Okay, time for the fish. This little buddy was about $4, which is great when you're on a budget. When buying fish, make sure you get it as fresh as you possibly can. A good indicator of freshness on the fish is the eye color. Black eyes mean fresher, where gray eyes are older fish. That may sound like common knowledge to some people, but there are some people that don't know that. To prep the fish, cut some lines on its side. Not all the way through, just enough to press on the bone slightly. Just enough. Add in more cuts based on the size of the fish. Mine only needed about 3 cuts on each side. Once cut up, it's ready to be seasoned. Salt, pepper, add in your minced garlic. I make sure some of the garlic goes in between the cuts, like so. If you don't have garlic, garlic powder is a perfect substitute. Now, I added the all-purpose flour way too early, and you'll see me try to fix the error later. Add in some extra seasoning on the inside of the fish where it was gutted. Yeah. And by now I realized I forgot to add the lime juice. Adding liquid after flour makes it more pasty consistency, which isn't what you're going for. So I had to re-add some flour after the lime juice. Don't be like me. Add the flour at the very end, please. Once the fish is prepped for cooking, grab your pan and set to medium-high or so. Add in a good amount of oil since we're going to be frying this buddy up. I still have some. I'm fine. I'm gonna buy any more yet. Once hot, drop in your fish carefully facing away from you. Please do it carefully. If your fish is bigger than your pan like mine, use tongs to adjust it to cook evenly. Cook on each side for about 5 minutes depending on the size of your fish. For mine, I'm only going to cook it for about 3 minutes though. It's not the biggest fish, but you know, it's decently sized. After about 3 minutes, it's time to flip the fish, which I understand can be a little bit intimidating, especially when a lot of oil is being used. so I use tongs and a spatula to do it. I'm just moving it around a little bit so I can get the whole thing cooked. Once those 3 minutes are up, we take it out of the stove. We place it onto the cutting board to slightly cool off, since it's too hot to touch right now, coming straight out of the oil. We now grab our plate, place it down, and add in our sides. If you're curious on how to make the rice, I made a video about this a few days ago, if you'd like to check it out. Now, I like to add some salt and lime on top of the already seasoned fish, since some of it got burnt off anyways. The proper way of eating this is grabbing the slice from those little lines that we cut earlier and pulling it out. This should pick up most of the meat, but you can use a fork if you'd like. This is just the way I do it. No mames, this is so good. Oh, I missed this. Let's try the rice too. Still delicious. Still really good. I missed eating seafood. I don't get to eat a lot of seafood over here while in school. I hope this video helped you out, even if just a little bit, making some fried fish or una mojarra frita. I'll see you guys next time.